So here I take the natural log of both sides. When I do this, the natural log and e cancel out. So I'm left with the natural log of 29 over 80 equals negative 4k. Now in order to solve for k, I need to divide by negative 4 on both sides. Okay, so I divide by negative 4 on both sides. The negative 4's cancel out. So I'm left with the natural log of 29 divided by 80, all divided by negative 4, is equal to k. So how do we type this in the calculator? I'm going to type in the natural log, which is right here, of 29 divided by 80. Make sure you close the parentheses after the 80, because then we want to divide that answer by negative 4. And we get k equals 0.254. We just solved for the value of k. So we're going to need this skill once we go do the Newton's law of cooling. So here's Newton's law of cooling. This formula is on your formula sheet. However, it doesn't tell you what each of these variables represents. So take a moment, maybe write these variables down on your formula sheet so you have a reminder of what each of these variables represent. Pause the video now so you can do that. So here's the problem. A cake is removed from an oven of 350 degrees Fahrenheit and cools to 120 degrees Fahrenheit after 20 minutes in a room at 65 degrees Fahrenheit. How long will it take the cake to cool to 90 degrees Fahrenheit? So our two steps: number one, find the constant k. After we do that, we can use the formula to solve for how long it takes. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to use the first two sentences. These first two sentences, plugging in these numbers, is going to help me find the constant k. So the temperature of the surrounding medium, Tm, that's the room temperature, 65. The original temperature when the cake came out was 350 degrees. Again, the temperature of the surrounding medium was 65. And then after 20 minutes, I'm going to plug that in for T. The cake is 120 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to be our T of T. So let's go ahead, plug these numbers in, and solve for our constant k. Alright, let's go ahead and type this into our calculator. I'm going to do natural log 55 divided by 285. Close those parentheses, divided by negative 20. Hit enter. There's my k. I'm going to store this number so I can save it and use it in my formula later into k, alpha k. So now every time I use the letter k, it's going to use that number that we found. So now let's continue and answer the last question of the problem. So to answer the last question, how long? They're looking for little t. will it take the cake to cool to 90 degrees? Now this 90 degrees is our new T of T, but the Tm and the T0 remain the same in the original problem. So let's go ahead and solve for little t. Okay, so now we can type this into our calculator. Remember, k is a number that we found. So let's go ahead and type this in. Natural log 25 divided by 285, close parentheses, divided by negative the k that we found. So I type in k. Remember, I stored that number. Make sure you use the correct number for k. And I get t equals 29.58 or 29.59 as our answer. So my final answer to this problem is 29.5 minutes or 30 minutes. To recap, remember, we used the first two sentences to find k, our constant. We stored k into our calculator under the letter k. Then I went back. Tm and T0 stayed the same, but I plugged in my T of T and I solved for little t. Check Edline for homework. There is an additional YouTube on Newton's law of cooling if you need to see another example.